Interested in investigation and security? Whether you are already a professional or you are in the beginning stages, take all of your classes at the National Investigative Training Academy. Choose from over 200 courses, all written and taught by experts in the field. The National Investigative Training Academy, or NITA, has offered high-level investigative and security training for over 12 years. Like live classes, NITA has those too. Sign up today for private investigation and security courses and use brand ambassador code B as in boy, A as in Adam, 2367. Take a look at investigativeacademy.com. You'll find the link in our show notes.
Once again to Crossing the Tape. We are the greatest to ever do it, I'd say, but I'm biased.
Maybe, just a little biased.
And just in case you forgot, I am Brendan, and I'm joined along with my co-host,
Hillary, who is also his wife.
Well, yes.
Well, we haven't been doing this for a little bit.
It's true. There's been life.
Life things really have gotten in the way. But we have been working on bringing you more episodes this whole entire time.
Yes. So, with that, and with hopefully the tumultuous summer behind us,
right,
we bring you part 3 of The Lady of the Dunes.
Yes. So what do we know so far? We know that a lady with a heart of gold, as many people who knew her said, Ruth Marie Terry went missing in the 1970s. Her family and authorities had no leads on her whereabouts for decades, which that's the worst part, when there's absolutely no lead.
Absence of any information.
They didn't know what happened to her.
She might still be out there.
Right.
But no idea.
Then, the body of a female was found in a rural area in Provincetown, Massachusetts, in a location known as the Race Point Dunes. The area she was found in was somewhat out of the way. And the other indicator was that about what happened, is that this unknown female may have been strangled and beaten. Again, at the time, it may have been difficult for investigators to conclude those details, but they had a strong suspicion the young lady had been murdered. Unfortunately, I think we mentioned it last time, her body was so decomposed because of weather.
Right.
If you don't know about Provincetown, Massachusetts, it's pretty much a peninsula. It's pretty much surrounded by water on 3 sides. And
yeah, we discussed all the environmental factors that probably really accelerated her decomposition.
Right. So they were kind of guessing, but they were pretty sure that she had been murdered. Mm-hmm. She was also sexually assaulted, and police suspected that the killer attempted to hide her identity because though she had extensive and expensive dental work, she did have missing teeth that appeared to have been pulled. Mm-hmm. So was this Ruth? That was the question that so many people were unsure of. The investigation had a few leads, but at first authorities were not able to get very far. In a case such as this, when the identity of the individual is unknown, how can police even begin to look for information, especially in the 1970s?
Right.
You know, VICAP, which is something that the FBI established, that was established in the 80s, I believe. Mm-hmm. So at this point, you know, VICAP is a way for police to share information about violent crime. That wasn't around. Right. So they didn't have the resources we do today.
Just random female deceased.
Yeah, they didn't have social media. They didn't have the resources.
Right. No, it was difficult to check for any missing persons.
Right.
Look for leads that way.
The first place police investigators looked into when they looked at the Ruth Marie Terry case was at missing persons. They also began to cross-reference vehicle registrations of vehicles that may have been seen in the area at the time of the incident or around the time she went lost. They're trying to see if this young lady is Ruth.
Right, and even that's a guess. Yes. That's a wide window because of the condition of her body.
Well, right. And then with vehicles, that's a good lead and that's innovative for the time. But at the same time, a lot of times witnesses don't get the color of the vehicle correct.
Right.
You can ask 4 people, they all saw the same car, but they all saw a different color.
Yes.
You know.
Side note, I once was sent to a shots fired call involving one caller said silver, one said blue, one said green. Turns out it was a light blue car when we found the person, but
Yeah.
just 3 calls right off the bat, and they were all 3 totally different
Yeah.
vehicles.
Yeah. Which I remembered that, so that's
totally
why.
Not uncommon.
Yeah. However, they were unfortunately getting nowhere pretty fast. The next steps they took were looking at all evidence they had found at the scene where the unknown body was found. Before we delve deeper into that part of the investigation, we will hear a quick word from our friends.
Taction USA is your go-to source for crime scene and evidence collection supplies. Taction USA offers quality products all designed and tested by active duty first responders and investigators. With no minimum order, you can order as much or as little as you need. Ordering is fast, with no hassle attached. Check out TactionUSA.com today and find the quality and quantity you need when it comes to crime scene and evidence collection supplies. That's TactionUSA.com, or look for the link in our show notes and Facebook posts.
Investigators had no leads at this point as to the identity of the body of the female found on the dunes. In addition, Ruth Marie Terry was still missing, and there really weren't any answers for her either. Looking at the crime scene photos, investigators noted the sand and beach blanket at the scene remained undisturbed. Perhaps this meant the body was moved to that spot since there was no sign of a struggle at the actual scene. You'd think if there was a blanket involved, it'd be wrapped around the person or like their neck or, something like that. It'd be disturbed.
Tossed aside.
The only other physical evidence found was a pair of jeans, a bandana, and a hair tie. So really, this is not a whole lot to go on. Which, and actually that's more than I've had on some cold cases I've worked. Some cold cases I've had maybe one police report and a newspaper archive.
So
the evidence was lost. The report with the evidence listed was lost. That kind of thing. So they actually, it's not a lot, but they had something. In 1980, investigators exhumed the unknown victim's remains, but no new evidence was found. Also, a year before that, a clay reconstruction of the woman's face was done, but at this time no one recognized her. And with facial reconstruction then, it was done with clay. Kind of like you see like cartoons like Gumby, it was that kind of thing. It wasn't like today where it's much more advanced and digitized.
Yes.
This may have been, so no one recognized her, unfortunately. This may have been simply because, as I said, the technology was just lacking at that time. Right. The body was exhumed once again into the year 2000 for DNA testing, and a new facial reconstruction was done in 2010. So what leads did they have? In 1987, someone said that she witnessed her father strangle a woman in Massachusetts in 1972.
Oh, good.
So, those kind of leads make me question their validity, know.
Yeah, for someone to come forward and say, well, my dad killed someone over there a while back.
It's a bit odd.
Okay.
So this would fit the timeline for Ruth Marie Terry's disappearance, and it would fit when the decedent was found. However, law enforcement was never able to find that woman to ask her more.
So, like, if someone called in
and said,
a tip, but then didn't leave any way to follow up.
Right.
Thanks a lot.
I know. Another lady told police that the facial reconstruction photo looked like her sister, who had disappeared from the Boston area in 1974. However, this potential lead did not pan out either. Police followed a few more leads but ruled each one out, and it seemed that if the timeline fit, the physical evidence didn't. So they'd get somewhere, they'd, one step forward, 2 steps back kind of thing.
Right.
It wouldn't be until much later that law enforcement would get their answer about the Lady of the Dunes. Meanwhile, during this time, Ruth Marie Terry's family still didn't have answers. The way it all comes together is fascinating and finally brings everyone some closure. But before we get to that point in the story, we'll look at more leads and an interesting suspect police had the next time on Crossing the Tape.
So do join us again when we bring you very soon part 4 of The Lady of the Dunes.
Stay safe.
So